All right, so Bitcoin actually broke a key level and went down to the low 80s. And I was telling you about 3 days ago that we're probably gonna go down to that level. I was warning about it. The question is, now that we got there, what's going to happen next? What should we anticipate? What should we look out for? These are very important times. We are at very important levels, so make sure you pay attention. And just so you can see exactly what I said and what we did, let me show you a quick clip right now. So this is the video I put out 3 days ago. Bitcoin just broke, pay attention, and let's just play a couple of seconds of this. Right now, we need to bounce and reclaim $90,000 fast. If we don't do this in a day or two, this is more than likely gonna come down to the previous SFP buy signal over here, or even test $80,000 psychological. So as you can see, we got to the levels we were anticipating, we got to those levels, and now we have to see what happens next. What's gonna happen to Bitcoin? What are the probabilities of breaking down or coming back up? What should we look out for so we can look at the probabilities so we can play it correctly? And of course, what altcoins are gonna do, because I was telling you that altcoins are waiting for permission from Bitcoin to rally, but if Bitcoin doesn't give that permission, altcoins are gonna drop down to extreme lows. And those of you that think that we are oversold and we can't go any lower, yes, we can go lower, but we can also go higher. Now, do we know if we're gonna go up or down? No, obviously not. But we can look at probabilities and we can strategize what to do once we see these probabilities breaking out so we can actually make moves before they happen. So let's have a look exactly what we should be looking out for. All right, so as you can see, Bitcoin indeed came down and tested this level, the 80K level, or a bit higher than that, but this bottom range that the factor line gave you over here. And of course, the factor line is still red, but now the trend stacker is also in the red. So the probabilities that we're gonna keep on going down are strong. And as I said in that video, even if we get a bounce here, chances are that we may reject and continue either to the downside and break support, or at the very least, start trading in this lower range over here. But this here is important because if we break $80,000 psychological, if we break $80,000 psychological, then a retest of this line here, which is our line in the sand, I'm gonna tell you what that is in just 1 second, is inevitable. And if there's enough momentum and volume, this will probably break. And that won't be nice. I'm gonna explain to you why in just 1 second. And please, make sure you pay attention to exactly what I'm saying here, because it's gonna be the difference of you playing this markets correctly and actually protecting yourself, taking profits, or even making profits, or completely getting wrecked. I know I see a lot of people in the comment section, we are definitely this, we are definitely that. No, look at the levels. I've proven this over and over and over again. We're going by probabilities here. We're going by probabilities, and we're taking the best case scenarios and the worst case scenarios, and we are basically positioning ourselves at levels and breakpoints so we can take advantage of what most people out there are not taking advantage of, okay? So pay attention, let me show you what we're doing here. All right, so this is the bearish case, which is more probable right now. What's gonna happen at this line over here, at our line in the sand, we don't know yet. So let's take things one by one. What you need to understand is that if this line breaks, this is long-term right now, I'm gonna show you something long-term. If this line breaks and becomes resistance, we are definitely gonna be in a bear market for a while. And I'll tell you why. Because even though there's strong support over here, and you can see that with the previous high of this range over here, if we actually break under this and it becomes resistance, that's gonna become extremely strong resistance, and we can actually stay down here for a long time. A bear market is not about how much a price will drop or the price will drop, it's how long you stay down there. How long you stay down there while altcoins bleeds, everyone gets depressed, and sooner or later you have to take profits because you have to pay bills, unless you're a bicycle sailor. That's a whole different story, but you have to pay bills, you have to survive, you have to do this, and there's opportunity cost as well. Because if you're in 1 year with prices low, that money that you have in there could be put somewhere else making you profits, if that makes sense. This is the problem with being in a bear market. Now, why am I saying that this line is a line in the sand? Let me just remove these drawings so we can have clear charts, because I want people to understand this. So this is a line in the sand over here at 74,000-ish. And if you want to get technical, you want to also extend this over here so you have a range. So the line in the sand is actually a range over here at $74,000 to about $73,000. The reason this is important is that if this breaks and becomes resistance, and this becoming resistance is key over here, then you break structure. See, anything higher than 74,000 was just a higher low. But if that breaks, you break structure, and then it constitutes into a bear market. The problem is, if 80,000 doesn't hold, the chances are that it will break, because it's gonna retest that, and if we have enough volume and momentum, which we kinda do, it will probably, and keyword probably, break. So you need to protect yourself. Now, let's look at the bullish case and what you can actually do if you didn't get out and if you didn't play this accordingly. So let's get rid of all these drawings again. And let's say Bitcoin actually bounces here. And we'll look at the 4-hour chart in a second. I just wanted to give you the whole picture here because this is important. So let's say Bitcoin actually comes up here, okay? Now, there is some resistance here, and of course, the mid-level here, which the factor line actually gave you. This is resistance right now, so we don't know if this will actually break. So here's your play. You have two ways or three ways of playing this. If we come up and we reject, you get out. You get out, you protect yourself, you do what you will, yeah? Oh my God, Paul, I didn't tell you, I don't have anything to... Look, I don't know what you did. Other people followed my videos, other people did not follow my videos, other people exited, protected themselves, other people ignored me. Even I took profits and protected myself, but didn't take enough. I should have took more, I should have been more aggressive, I admit that, but hey, it is what it is. What do we do now, okay? So if this breaks, if this rejects and starts coming down, you have to protect yourself. Maybe that's selling, maybe that's taking profits, maybe that's taking losses, I don't know. Everyone's different here. You can always get back in later. So if for example, we do indeed come down, but we were wrong, and we come back up and we start trading in this range again, you can always get back in higher. It doesn't matter, you're protecting yourself. And yes, it does make sense buying higher. This is why I'm saying you don't just buy low and sell. Sometimes it makes sense to actually buy higher because you have clear support lines, and that's what we're looking at right now. I'm gonna give you some even bigger ones in just 1 second, okay? So you're protecting yourself, you're waiting for this. If we break and we don't do this, let's say we come up and we actually come to this level here, this line then becomes support and we come up and we go break, you can actually buy here. You can actually buy here, buy the midline breakout as well over here, and then you have a clear stop loss. If price comes back down under this, you get out. If price continues going up, you hold, and you're watching for this level that we called over here as a resistance, as the whole market structure might be a topping pattern, like it might happen something like this big heads and shoulders over here in this case. But, and this could also continue then and we might get a double top. But of course, this is looking increasingly less likely at this point, to be quite honest. Now, another thing to watch out for is if the price comes up, rejects, comes back down here, if this does not hold, it would be the third time it would hit it. So if it doesn't hold and it doesn't bounce with conviction and comes back down, chances are this will break. If this will break, we're looking at 74,000. If that breaks, we're looking at least 73,000. And if that breaks, hey, we're in a bear market until proven otherwise. Now, let's have a look at a little bit more in the short term, then we'll look at altcoins and look at a couple of more things over here. The 4-hour chart looks ugly. As you can see, the 4-hour chart also gave us a sell signal over here, told us to sell again over here, and now it's struggling to maintain in this lower range, over here drawn by the factor line. Now, the trend stacker on the 4 hour is showing extreme volume, momentum, and a couple of more factors that are in here, and sometimes this is a reversal signal. And we did see a small bounce because of that. But you shouldn't take this alone without looking at the daily. But when you're looking at the 4 hour, you can see resistance clear here that we were talking about earlier on. This is the resistance we were talking about, and you can also look at it in a range over here, as this range being resistance. So going to multiple time frames actually helps a lot. And as you can see, we went under all these SFPs and buy signals, and I was telling you that's your stop loss. If we break under, that's your stop loss. We broke under, you should have gone out. At best case scenario, going to trade within this range over here for a while, maybe come up slowly, or worst case scenario, we break down and we go into a possible bear market. So that's what we're looking at. That's what we're looking at when it comes to Bitcoin. And I know this is not the news that most people want to hear. They like it because I was casually, not casually, I was, what's the word I'm looking for here? I was cautiously bullish for a while with that range that we were in, but we broke down a few days ago, and that's why I made that video warning everyone. So let's look at altcoins real quick. Let's look at altcoins, and please feel free to ask your questions in the comments down below. I will try and answer them in the next video or in my live stream on Sunday at 7 o'clock EET time or 6 o'clock CET time if you prefer. And if you're British, I'm not talking about tea, it's past tea time. No, I'm just giving you the times I will be going live. I'm not sure if it's appropriate to make jokes right now with the markets like this, but it is what it is. But looking at altcoins over here, as you can see, with Bitcoin down, everything's down. CC is actually showing strength, and it may even be breaking out. Well, it's not really breaking out, but it is showing strength, and if it can hold these levels, if we do get a bounce, CC will probably be one of the first to go up, especially if the privacy narrative goes up, but right now it doesn't look that way. Looking at our other coins we are holding, not too good. Looking at the markets as a whole, not too good. And as I was saying, altcoins are waiting for permission from Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is not giving them permission to run. We saw that altcoins were about to run. As soon as Bitcoin went up and broke above $90,000, the level I was talking about a few days ago, altcoins started running, but that $90,000 rejected, it could not hold, and that's why I always say you have to wait a day or two, and that's when altcoins didn't have permission from Bitcoin and started dumping. So there's really no point talking about altcoins here because it's all dependent on Bitcoin. Does that make sense? Okay, now, if you are holding coins and you're wondering if they are dead or if you should keep holding them, probably not. But if you want to see more of a fundamental basis, and when I say fundamental, I mean fundamentals that count, you can actually use one of my tools completely for free. It's called ismycoindead.com. I'm gonna show it to you real quick, show you a couple of more things, and I'm gonna tell you something important at the end of this video, so stick around. So if you come to AICryptoSuite.com here, this is AI crypto tools that I personally created and built for myself and for you. And right over here, there is ismycoindead.com. You can actually click it or even go directly to ismycoindead.com, or you can click it here and it will take you to the website where you can actually put your coin right here and understand what's going on with the coin on a fundamental level. Now, I don't look at fundamentals, I don't look at news, but I do look at some core fundamentals. Obviously, if the developers are not actually, are not active, then obviously that's a fundamental reason that the coin is not doing good. If you look on-chain and there are on-chain metrics that are not looking good, obviously that's something to look at, but this is very tedious and very time-consuming. That's why I built this app. And it's mostly for small coins, meme coins, and so on, but you can use it with other coins as well, because it does look at structure and it does look at price as well. Let me show you what I mean. So let's say over here we want to put Turbo Coin, because a lot of people ask me in the comments about Turbo Coin over here. You can click check coin, and as you can see, it's giving you a very high opportunity cost check. And this is opportunity cost. I keep on talking about this. Opportunity cost is money you can have somewhere else that makes you money. This checks it against Bitcoin in the last 30 days and is telling you, look, if you have it locked over there, your opportunity cost is high because it could be in Bitcoin, which is working out better. So if you actually look at Bitcoin and not dollars and verse it into that, then you can see if it's actually worth holding an altcoin or Bitcoin, so you can have an understanding of the markets. And you can see it right here. Why is it doing this? It's explaining to you why. Because performance against Bitcoin is bad, volume trend is declining, and price structure is below trend. This is actually very important. What does this mean? Well, capital efficiency is weak. Opportunity cost versus Bitcoin appears high recently. And yes, I'm trying to upgrade it over time and add features to it. With that said, if you go back to AICryptoSuite.com, you will see a whole bunch of other tools. For example, Crypto TA Reality Check. So if I'm not around and you want to check your TA, just copy paste a graph into this and it will give you an analysis the way I do analysis to a certain extent. Coin scan, when I say certain extent, I mean obviously if you don't have the factor line, you can't just stick the factor line in there because you don't see the chart. You could do it now, you could take a screenshot of the analysis I gave and put it in there and get some context, but obviously if you don't have the factor line, you can't do it in general, but you could put any other chart in there from CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, whatever, TradingView, doesn't matter. It will give you an analysis. It is free for you to use, no signups, no emails, no nothing. Also, coin scan here to see if it's a scam or if the code is a scam and so on. You can put any smart contract or coin in there. IsMyCoinDead.com, we already talked about that. Folioli app is a portfolio tracker. If you want to track your crypto, take a look at this. It's safe, it doesn't connect to APIs or anything like that, and it will actually help you see your portfolio and even give you a breakdown of your portfolio and what you can do better. And of course, the factor line, this is the only paid one on this site. And I included it because I added 24-hour AI coaching and replies, so you can actually ask AI to explain the factor line to you or questions or anything like that. But this is my course, Invest, Trade, and Think Like the Crypto Factor, that comes with a factor line. And of course, you could check it out and see if it's for you. Now, this is an expensive course. It's not a cheap course. You can check it out over here. It will give you the indicator, the factor line indicator for free forever. And yeah, if you want to get better at crypto, go ahead, scan this code or click the links in the description down below. I'll leave links to all of these in the description down below. And now, a couple of words you need to listen to. You need to listen to this. I know things are hard. I know things are hard. I know things are tough. A lot of people are losing money. A lot of people were waiting for profits. A lot of people would, look, I've been in this game since 2017. Not just as a trader, not just as an investor, but a C-level executive, author, and now speaker at events around the world. Okay, let me just turn this off because I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk to you man to man or man to woman or whatever, man to whatever you identify yourself. Just 1 second here. And you have to understand that a lot of people look at news and they get bullish or they get bearish, but there's news for the masses, news for the classes. We only get the news for the masses and they get wrecked. Or they just look at fundamentals, but they don't look at price. Price is above everything. Fundamentals you can look at, yes, but I don't look at them at all, except some on-chain metrics when it comes to Bitcoin and crypto. And I built a tool for that. But generally speaking, price over everything. I don't care if it's a complete scam. If the price is showing it's going up, yes, you take caution, but you can make profits, and we've proven this many, many times. Meme coins have no fundamentals. Yet The markets run on greed and fear. And right now we are in fear. There's a lot of things going on. People are fearful. And while markets can behave irrationally and do the opposite, that's why we look at price, that's why we do technical analysis, you have to understand that there's also cycles. There's cycles and there's fear and there's greed. So if you are losing right now, please take this opportunity to make yourself better as a person, to learn. Learn technical analysis, learn about crypto, learn about other markets, learn about AI, how you can use AI. I built a whole channel talking about AI right now. I'll leave it linked somewhere here at the end of the video and in the description down below, but start learning stuff because you need to become a better person. You need to grow as a person. And there's no excuse. Look, I don't want to hear excuses. Something, oh, I'm working all the day. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Dude, look, I started, when I had this channel here, I was making videos while I was fighting cancer. I'm a 3-time cancer survivor, right? Since 2015. I got out of hospital after a bone marrow transplant, CAR T therapy, end of 2022, 2 days before Christmas. And I was making videos here while I was fighting cancer. When I was in hospital with no eyebrows, if you look at my earlier videos, telling you to buy at 15.6K or 16.7K. And even before that. And I always better myself. I remember I was fighting cancer. I had a TV right there. I had a TV on my wall. This was years ago. And it was the first time I fought cancer. I had a TV over there and I had a PlayStation so I can use because I was fighting cancer. But my parents were alive back then and everything. And I had my PlayStation. And I played for a couple of weeks, like maybe 1-2 weeks. And I'm like, what am I doing? Now, keep in mind, I had about 2-3 hours awake. I was feeling sick and I was sleeping most of the day. You know what I did? I sold the PlayStation for half price. I sold the PlayStation for half price because I could have been making courses, I could have been making videos, and that's what I did. And that's how I blew up this channel. And I did it again. Even after my last bone marrow transplant, I bought another PlayStation because I got it for free. Not free, but with a big discount because of this thing with my phone. They give you some free shit or they give you big discounts. So I took the PlayStation and I had it here and I sold it again for half price because again, I was wasting my time. Like, look, I could be making courses, I could be doing this. And that's how I created my group. That's how I created my one-on-one coaching because I only did this lately after 2023 when I couldn't work for companies anymore because I went through hell with the last time I went through cancer. I almost died. It was the most difficult part. Plus my parents are not around anymore. I was on my own just with my girlfriend and that's it. And my dog, I was even walking my dog, right? So you have to understand, you have to apply yourself. You can do anything. I did. I literally live off online. And I did that because I didn't have another choice. You have to improvise, adapt, and overcome. You can't just sit there saying, oh, woe is me. Oh, this is not working. Now YouTube views are down. YouTube views are down across the board. I'm barely getting 500 views. Some of them are getting 100 views right now. And I live off crypto. I live off YouTube. What am I doing? Am I crying? No, I'm creating courses. I'm creating AI tools. I'm making another website, another YouTube channel for AI. I'm pivoting again. And I'm not leaving crypto, but I'm pivoting because I understand that, hey, we have to be careful here. You have to do the same. And I know I'm probably not articulating myself or I'm probably not Andrew Tating this. I'm probably not motivating you as much as other people could, but understand that I'm coming from somewhere that's real. I've been through this shit. I've lost all my money. I've lost my parents. I lost my sister. I am alone. I'm doing this online. All I had was this channel. And yes, it's down right now, but I'm gonna bring it back up. I know it's a cycle. I know it's gonna come back up, but even if it doesn't, I'm gonna make sure I can pivot and set myself up so I can pivot because you have to improvise, adapt, and overcome every single time. And I want you to do this. I want you to do this for you, for your family, everyone. You are responsible for you and your loved ones. You as a man, if you are a man watching this, you are responsible, nobody else. If you are a woman, and you also may be responsible if you have no man. And I don't want to sound misogynistic here. I'm trying to say that no matter where you are in life, you are responsible, especially if you are a man. You are responsible for your loved ones. You have to protect yourself, protect your women, protect your children, protect your family. You have an obligation. You have no excuse. Women, If they are alone, they need to do this as well. But it's your job as a man to protect those women. And that's the way I see things. Call me a knight, call me a paladin, I don't know. Call me whatever you want. Call me old-fashioned. But that's the way I see things. And I know most of you out there watching this video, I know you are men. The thing is, it's not just about being a man, it's about acting as a man and being responsible as a man, if that makes sense. And you have to do this for you. You have to be able to improvise, adapt, and overcome. The world is shit right now. It's a lot better than what it used to be, but it's shit and could very quickly escalate into more shit. Then you have shit everywhere. You have shit like flying around and you're like doing the Matrix trying to avoid shit, but you have to improvise, adapt, and overcome. Maybe you start selling compost. I don't know. Anyway, this was my attempt to help you understand that it's not over, that you can do anything if you apply yourself. Of course, I have free tools in the description down below. There's also the factor line in the course. If you want, you can get it. If not, that's okay. I get it. Maybe you're not ready. Maybe you don't have enough money. Use the free tools, make enough money, then you can think about getting it. But please, take care of you. Take care of your family, because at the end of the day, someone told me once, the only person that you are guaranteed to live with for the rest of your life from birth to death is yourself. And you are the only one responsible for making things happen in your life, and you have to take that responsibility. You just have to, okay? So things just happen. I didn't know I was gonna get cancer. I didn't know I was gonna get cancer 3 times. I didn't know I was gonna lose my parents while I was fighting cancer along with my sister. I didn't know that I was gonna go completely bankrupt, almost bankrupt, and borrowing money and trading my way up again and doing online courses and actually just doing this and getting to where I am. I didn't know that, and touch wood, maybe I have to do it again, so I have to pivot. I have to make sure that the base is there, and that's what I'm doing, and the best time to do that is now. Success comes from inspiration or devastation, and it's usually the latter, okay? So anyway, make sure you watch this video right here next. Very important video, don't miss this video. Take care of yourself, and yeah, keep succeeding.